Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome aboard the Kikka, one of the jets with epic amounts of character. Not so much performance, but it's not outstandingly bad. But that is speaking for a fully upgraded jet. Stock, this might be on par with the Yak 15P. Wow, that is not an introduction you might be used to when you face or watch videos from other people that show you the best games, and this is a, for all intents and purposes, average game. It's not boring like the B-57A gameplay. This packs a little bit of action and a pair of kills. Yeah, spoilers ahead. So, the Kikka, what is it? Well, it's practically a bad copy of the Me-262. It is completely inferior to the R2Y2s in terms of firepower, especially when stock. And that is supposed to be the bomber in the branch. And it is such a letdown as well when we talk about the previous vehicle, the J2W1, which nowadays performs really greatly. All the other Japanese fighter planes, the props namely, are really great. And when it comes to climbing, maneuvering and killing the enemies, I mean, they are very nice to fly, let's put it that way. The Kikka is then this very odd fish, this really outstandingly bad plane, at least at first. It has one redeeming feature, and that is stock. You have a 500 kilogram bomb available. That bomb by itself is, nothing that you should take and then expect to destroy 20 ground units. It's a one-hit precision weapon if you know how to do it, but then you have no bomber aiming circle anymore, the hologram so to speak. And the Kikka by itself is, well, it's a damn long, painful way to upgrade. So, and you also have to research the 14 in mod 41, bomb pylon so to speak, to get a 800 kilogram bomb, which then you have armor piercing and a high explosive bomb available. To then get as a tier 3 mod, the Otsu mod, which gives you a second 30mm gun. And about the ammunition capacity, well, it is still the same per gun, but overall it doubles, and then you can go for the belts, or if you have them, for the new cannon. But then you also need the fuselage repair, the cover, the wings repair, the airframe, and then you have just one engine upgrade, the engines themselves. So you need so many upgrades to get a below average performing jet. But it still is a jet. And this is what people often forget. Okay, let me talk you through that. I'm not saying that the Kikka is very good, but you still can make it work. But overall, the engines, the plane is rather weak. It's not very maneuverable. It takes ages to turn, especially at low speed. I never actually reached the top speed. I never redlined even. I went over 800 at some point. But it takes a long dive to get there. And to get up to there is the first problem. Now, the key to victory is side climbing. Yes, I just said it. Side climbing in a jet. Now, there is the zoom climb and then there's the side climb. Zoom climb is that you accelerate after the start to a very high speed, let's say 700, 800 kilometers an hour, and then zoom up. The problem is, I'm not quite sure if you can even reach that in level flight with the Kikka. I'm pretty sure that you can reach it, probably, but it takes too long, and then the benefit is not too great. The energy retention of this plane is not the very highest. Yeah, and those were some really nice hits on the Vampire, and he doesn't seem to have taken engine damage. That, at least I can tell from the not smoking engine, and he didn't lose a wing. And you know, I just went through quite a substantial amount of my ammunition, nearly 20% with a short burst. And the rate of fire of those 30mm is not the highest. So 50 rounds per gun. Now, thankfully, the stock belt is actually not that bad. It's the very same composition, more or less, than the stealth belt that I'm using. So 3 high explosive rounds and 1 practice round. And that is the stealth belt. For the stock belt, you have 1 practice round and 3 high explosive shells. A few tracer shells might be in there as well. So, at least on paper, the performance isn't all that different, and I tried it out. All the belts are practically the same, except from the ones that have dedicated tracer shells in them, which, like the ground target belt, is not very good. I would not recommend it. Some use just tracers, some use universal. It depends on the exact situation that you go into. It's not like with 50 cals where you have so many shells in the air that it actually makes a difference. But yeah, it is difficult to get a decent value out of it. So what I'm practically doing here is using the chat meta against props. And that is that most of the fight takes place at lower altitude. And then you just have to do the boom and zoom kind of tactic. And this, Bearcat stalled himself out. And those are the opportunities that you have to look for. Now, you could do this in every other chat as well with these. I agree. But this is the bread and butter of the Kikka. Do you see the problem here? This is a very opportunistic chat in my opinion. But again, having flown the Yak 15P, which in my opinion even upgraded, is not that good. I mean, you can make it work. Let's put it that way. It's a challenging chat. It is kind of full of character. It looks odd. It has not the best performance. It is deep into the prop era in terms of battle rating, and well, there are so many things that work against this jet. The bad acceleration, the bad energy retention, the bad turning, the bad armament, even when upgraded, and you know, you are by far the worst jet for direct use, even the Japanese tech tree. So there's that. And that finally sums up the Kikka. The next part is that many people actually underestimate this plane completely. They don't see you a threat at all, and then, therefore, make themselves an easy target. Then that was my internet again, by the way. So there's that again. I have 15 shells left. There's a Griffin Spitfire. Now, I just have a few seconds left, I guess, for commentary. That was badly, by the way. So, especially when you compare it to the R2Y2s in terms of, you know, where they are put in the match. Bomber spawn, 4 guns with 600 rounds. You know, that's 3 times the ammunition capacity per gun. So, and that's the bomber, you know. So while the R2Y2 is kind of following the Japanese directive at tier 4/tier 5, it is not a very good jet, the R2Y2. So many people overestimate the R2Y2 in terms of capabilities. It's the big difference between the beginning of the match, where the Kikka is very weak and the R2Y2 is very strong. But if you give it time, the R2Y2 gets weaker and weaker, and if the enemy team survive that long by invading or energy trapping or turn fighting, the R2Y2, they can bleed off the altitude and speed of the R2Y2. And then the R2Y2 is not that much better in terms of flying performance than to a fully upgraded Kikka. And then there is one big advantage that the Kikka has, and that is you can land on the engines, like with the Me262. Now, when we talk about the firepower, you might say, well, this plane is very similar to the Me262 A2A. No, it isn't. The A2A is a complete monstrosity. Yes, it has the same amount of guns, but they work so differently. They work, at least at the moment. I got 3, 4, 5 kills, you know, regularly with the Me262 A2A. But with the Kikka, you can be happy about 2 kills. 3 are very good. I had one game with 5 kills, I guess. I think I made a video in summer, but I had to return to base like 1 or 2 times. So, yeah, at this point, the match is over. We have won in a mixed match, which, by the way, happens very often. Despite having 60,000 players online at prime time here in Europe, I still get a lot of mixed matches. So, let's have a quick look at the post-battle results. And, well, as you can see, the Kikka is not a chat that I would put a talisman on it. I got 51,000 silver lines and 5,200 research points with a premium count, without any booster, without talisman. And I was second in team with 1,871 score points, right after an R2Y2 with 6 kills. And yeah, there we can see the upgrade way. The stealth belts are very similar to the default belts, as I mentioned, and 3 bombs are available. Now, the bombs, they have their use in certain special situations, but that's it. I would not rely as on them as a primary source of damage or kills, or, you know, trying to bomb enemies that are behind you with a 2-second delay. It can work, but at the end of the day, it's not worth the risk, and it further decreases your performance. So, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other in the skies of War Thunder.